In the heart of the English countryside, the warm sun of late summer bathed the land in a golden glow. The fields were ripe with harvest, and the air buzzed with the energy of celebration. It was 1588, a year that would be etched into the annals of history as a time of triumph and unity, as England, under the rule of Queen Elizabeth I, stood victorious against the mighty Spanish Armada. The country, once fragmented by religious and political strife, now pulsed with a renewed sense of pride and harmony. This was a moment of fulfillment, a time when the hard work of a long and tumultuous reign had borne fruit. As the festivities unfolded across the land, the spirit of the Four of Wands hung in the air like a sweet fragrance. This card, emblematic of celebration, harmony, and the achievement of stability, perfectly captured the essence of the times. Elizabeth's England was entering a golden age, one where the arts flourished, the economy grew, and a sense of national identity was forged in the fires of adversity and victory. Elizabeth herself, a monarch of unrivaled wisdom and grace, stood as the embodiment of the Four of Wands. Her journey to this moment had been anything but easy. From the uncertainties of her early reign, when the kingdom was divided and beset by enemies both foreign and domestic, she had faced each challenge with unwavering determination. Her early years were marked by threats to her throne, both from within her court and from powerful neighbors. But through shrewd diplomacy, careful governance, and a deep understanding of her people, Elizabeth had navigated these treacherous waters, steering England toward calmer seas. The defeat of the Spanish Armada was the crowning achievement of this era, a moment that crystallized the meaning of the Four of Wands. It was not merely a military victory, but a celebration of the resilience and unity of the English people. The victory parades in London, the bonfires that lit up the night sky, and the joyous gatherings in every town and village were more than just revelries. They were a collective exhale, a moment of communal harmony and shared pride that echoed the joyous and celebratory spirit of the Four of Wands. Elizabeth, ever the astute leader, understood the power of symbolism and ceremony. She knew that the real strength of her reign lay not just in the military might or the riches of the treasury, but in the hearts and minds of her people. The celebrations that followed the Armada's defeat were orchestrated to foster a sense of unity, a shared identity that transcended the divisions of the past. The Queen herself, radiant in her royal regalia, appeared before her subjects, not as a distant sovereign, but as a beloved leader who had guided them through dark times and into the light. The arts, too, flourished under Elizabeth's patronage, becoming another pillar of the Four of Wands' energy. The Elizabethan era saw the rise of literature, theater, and music, with figures like William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe coming to the fore. The theaters of London, once regarded with suspicion, now became places where the burgeoning national identity was expressed and celebrated. The plays and poems of this time captured the complexities of the human experience, but also the optimism and confidence of a nation on the rise. The Four of Wands speaks to the joy of creation and the celebration of life's successes, and in Elizabeth's England, this joy was palpable in the cultural renaissance that unfolded. But the harmony that marked this period was not merely the absence of conflict. It was the presence of a carefully nurtured balance. Elizabeth's reign was marked by her ability to maintain peace both at home and abroad, often through the deft use of diplomacy rather than force. Her famous reluctance to marry, which earned her the title of the Virgin Queen, was a strategic choice that kept foreign powers at bay and prevented the internal discord that might have arisen from such a union. Instead, Elizabeth married her country, dedicating herself wholly to its welfare. This act of self-sacrifice and commitment to the greater good is another reflection of the Four of Wands, where the focus is on the stability and happiness of the community over individual desires. The peace that Elizabeth brought to her realm was hard-won. It was the result of years of careful planning, of balancing the interests of powerful factions, and of always keeping the welfare of her people at the forefront of her decisions. And now, in the late summer of 1588, that peace was tangible. The land was stable, the people were prosperous, and the future, for the first time in many years, looked bright. As the celebrations continued, the sense of fulfillment and contentment that the Four of Wands represents was evident in every aspect of life. The Queen herself, often seen as a solitary figure burdened by the weight of the crown, now appeared lighter, as if the success of her reign had lifted a great weight from her shoulders. The sense of completion that comes with the Four of Wands was present in her every gesture, her every word. This was a time of homecoming, not just for Elizabeth, but for the entire nation. The long years of struggle had given way to a period of relative peace and prosperity. The English people, once divided by religious and political strife, were now united under a common cause, a common identity. They had come home to themselves, to a sense of who they were as a people, and this homecoming was marked by the harmony and celebration that the Four of Wands so beautifully captures. In the twilight of her reign, Elizabeth I stood as a testament to what could be achieved through perseverance, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to one's people. The golden age she ushered in was a reflection of the Four of Wands, a time of celebration after hard-won stability, a period where the fruits of labor could be enjoyed, and where the community could come together in joy and harmony. As the sun set on that momentous year, and on the reign of one of England's greatest monarchs, the spirit of the Four of Wands lingered, a reminder of what had been achieved, and a beacon of hope for the future. The celebrations might eventually fade, the bonfires might burn out, but the sense of unity, stability, and fulfillment would endure, a lasting legacy of the Queen who had brought her people together and led them into the light.